We open in Vietnam. A gang is trying to take a little girl from her family by force when her parents fight back to protect her. The gang leader pulls out a gun without any warning and shoots them both dead clean, cold, no hesitation when the girl tries to run and knocks his gun into a fire. He walks over, picks it up without blinking, and presses the hot barrel against her neck, burning a scar into her skin that she'll carry for the rest of her life. Years pass. We see the same girl, now grown, except this time the roles are completely reversed. She's the one on the attack, and he's the one trying to defend himself. Before we find out how that happened, and who raised her and trained her to become this person, we need to go back to the beginning. We cut to a hospital in Dubai. A well-known businessman is bleeding out from an abdominal wound, and is in critical condition the moment the nurse reports that he needs a donor. A specific person is already being prepared for him. The man looks exhausted and clearly drained, but the assistant to the head of the operation treats him like he's a resource, not a human being. The doctor pulls her aside and says flat out, "We can't take any more from this man or he'll die." She dismisses him completely. Keep drawing until his life runs out. The important thing is that the boss recovers. We'll find a new donor after. The doctor explains that donors with this blood type aren't easy to find. If they lose this one, they have a serious problem. She shuts the conversation down. When he dies, keep all his organs intact. They'll be useful for other things. Here's why this matters. There are people in the world with an extraordinarily rare blood type, so rare that only around 50 people on the entire planet carry it. While it's considered a biological treasure for its owner, it's also a curse if something ever happens to them medically. They can only receive from someone with the exact same type. This is what makes them targets, and this is why Frovik, the gang leader, wanted to take the girl Lan from her family by any means necessary and ship her to Dubai. She carries the golden blood. His plan falls apart at the last second when a car pulls up and 3 people step out. Bo, his assistant, and a doctor. They were also there for Lan, but unlike Frovik, they came prepared to pay her family properly and take her willingly. The strange thing is that the moment Lan looks at Bo's face, she feels an instinctive sense of calm and runs toward him. Bo neutralizes Frovik's men with ease, but Frovik himself slips through his hands and disappears. Bo immediately warns his assistant. They need to protect the girl carefully, because they will come back for her whether they want her to sell on the black market, or specifically for her blood type. When Lan wakes up, she finds herself in Bangkok, in a house she doesn't recognize, surrounded by people whose language she doesn't understand. She starts breaking everything around her. The members of House 89 gather around her, speaking through a translation app. "We're not going to hurt you. You'll live with us like you're one of our own family." She tells them that obviously she doesn't trust them. Everything she's been through is enough reason to never trust anyone again. The strange thing is that she only calms down when Boren, Bo's son, takes her hand firmly because she's bleeding, and something about his presence settles her. Bo notices immediately from that moment. He tells Boren, "Starting today, you're responsible for her protection. Her parents are gone, and she has no one. You're going to be like family to her." The real reason, of course, is that she'll serve as a walking blood bank whenever he needs one. Despite agreeing to live with them quietly, without even knowing why they're helping her, Lan's desire for revenge against the person who destroyed her family never leaves her. Time passes. We see Lan, Boren, and the 3 of them grown, still playing together in the rain, still inseparable. The bond between them is written all over how they move around each other. Meanwhile, Frovik has traveled to India searching for a new golden blood donor on his own. When he doesn't find a single match, he takes out every bit of his frustration on the man working with him, puts a gun in his mouth, and pulls the trigger. Then he calls his female assistant and tells her he still hasn't found a donor. Her response: "Stop wasting time and go back to Vietnam to get the girl you lost last time." He's frustrated because getting to her after all these years won't be easy. She reminds him, $20 million, whatever effort you put in, it's nothing compared to what you're being paid. Back at House 89, Lan is watching him train in boxing. She asks Boren why he puts in that kind of effort. He explains that every member of House 89 has a mission they're supposed to carry out, and boxing is Am's. Lan, hearing this for the first time, asks, "Then what's my mission? Am I just an extra here? And actually, what's your mission?" He looks slightly stung and admits, "I don't have a mission either. All that's required of me is that I keep you safe." She pushes back, "So keeping me locked inside for years while you all go live your lives, that's what you call protection? That's not protection, that's fear." He knows she's right, but he has no choice except to follow the rules his father set. M's coach has been on his case, telling him his movements are slow, that anyone could control him easily, that there's been zero improvement in months after the coach leaves. Lan tries to soften it. "At least you have a purpose that's more than people who have nothing at all." Boren then gives him real advice. "The problem is he knows you too well. He's memorized how you stand, which direction you'll move, when you'll shift. That's why he always has a counter ready before you've even committed. Want to try something?" Spar with me. M agrees because he needs any edge to get past this training stage. Lan watches in genuine shock and asks Boren, "You actually know how to fight?" AM explains it wasn't a gift. Boren spent years keeping him up until dawn, teaching him every move in secret, sacrificing his own sleep to do it. Boren immediately gets nervous because he's been hiding all of this from his father and makes both of them promise. This stays between us. They keep training together in secret until AM absorbs the principles completely, and the next time he walks into his official session, he applies everything perfectly. The coach is floored. He can't understand how the transformation happened overnight. Now Lan's curiosity is fully awake. She starts sneaking time alone in her room to copy every move she sees them do. She asks Boren, "If you've never faced someone before and you have no read on them, what do you do?" He tells her, "Let them come at you more than once. Study their pattern. Once you understand their style, you can respond." That evening, Lan is puzzling over why Bo allows him, an outsider, to work with them on their secret operations as a hired gun, while refusing to give his own son any role beyond babysitting her. Boren explains, "He probably doesn't want me to turn out like him, but honestly, none of that matters to me as long as I'm with you and keeping you safe like he asked." Then he turns it back on her. "Is there something you actually want for yourself?" She goes quiet, and the image of Frovik surfaces immediately. The only thing she's willing to do anything for is making him pay for what he took from her. At dinner, Lena, one of the team, briefs everyone on a new mission. A high-profile businessman needs to be eliminated at an upcoming event. The complication is the crowd, plus multiple rival gangs who want to steal the job. Bo proposes bringing AM into the field. Boren is genuinely happy for his friend, and genuinely wounded that his own father still won't extend him the same trust. Bo sees his son's expression, clocks it, and suggests they continue the briefing in the office. That's when Boren, for the first time, breaks his own rule and invites Lan out. Lan cannot believe it. It's been years since she's seen the outside world, and the invitation is coming from Boren, which makes it feel like something more. She sprints to her wardrobe to find the most elegant dress she owns when AM sees her in it. He's struck. It's genuinely the first time he's seen her dressed like that. He asks where she's going. She tells him she's sneaking out with Boren, while the rest of them handle the mission. And adds, "Don't say anything to Bo, and don't tell Boren I'm wearing a dress either." AM feels the familiar sting of knowing exactly where her heart is and says nothing. After helping M prep for the mission, Boren corners his father one more time. "When are you going to acknowledge me and let me work beside you?" Bo just looks at him and walks away, unwilling to have the conversation. At the event venue, Bo immediately spots Chaba, the head of the Mala gang, with his crew already in position. He tells Kim, his assistant, to keep all focus on the target. Mala has 4 security people, but don't move until they've been dealt with first. When Bo realizes how surrounded the place is, he activates Plan B. M enters as a fake security guard and handles the target from the outside, clean and invisible. Before the plan kicks off, one of the gang plants a small explosive on the target's aid. When it detonates, they trigger the emergency alarm and route the target through a secret corridor to a waiting car. AM is standing exactly where he needs to be the moment the target passes him. He draws a blade and cuts his neck with such precision that no one notices until the man is already bleeding out and losing consciousness. Meanwhile, Frovik is in Bangkok selling a rare vinyl record to a client. When he spots Lan from across the room, he sees the scar on her neck, and it all comes back to him at once. He steps outside and follows them immediately to find out where she's living. When he confirms she's inside House 89's building, he knows this will be complicated. He goes straight to Chaba and slides an envelope full of cash across the table. "I need you on a job targeting House 89. Chaba slides it back. "They've had eyes on us since exactly that time. I'm not losing more of my men." Frovik leans in. "You want to let them run this market forever. If we finish them permanently, the field opens up and your money doubles." Chaba considers it, then agrees. The next morning, Bo confronts Boren. "You took her outside. Do you understand what you risked? Her being seen out there puts all of us in danger." Boren pushes back. "She has the right to see the world like everyone else, and you're the one who asked me to look after her. That's how I'm doing it." Bo's tone sharpens. "If you think the moves you've been practicing behind my back are going to make you strong enough to protect her, you're deluded. Fall in line." Boren stands his ground. "I'm the one you approved and trusted. I trained him myself." Bo lets it slip. "There are people out there willing to do anything to get her because of her blood." That lands on Boren like a physical blow. His father brought her here specifically to exploit her. He goes straight to Lan's room. "Pack your things. We're leaving tonight when everyone's asleep." That same night, the Mala gang arrives, multiple cars, Frovik with them, and gains control of House 89's entire security system, entering without triggering a single alarm. Lan packs and is about to step through the door when an explosion goes off right in front of her. Throwing her to the back of the room, Frovik walks in and immediately tells his men, Nobody touches the girl she's mined from nowhere. Boren arrives, opens fire, grabs Lan and runs. Within minutes, the entire House 89 team is in the fight. Boren moves step by step with Lan beside him, gun in hand, trying to get her to an exit, but every few seconds another wall explodes, and another wave of Mala fighters pours through when Lan spots Frovik for the first time up close. Something in her snaps. She rips the gun from Boren's hand and empties it at him in a rage, but he escapes easily. Boren tries to calm her. Right now the only priority is getting out of the building. At that moment, Chaba comes from behind and stabs Boren in the shoulder with a blade. Boren goes down. Bo arrives just in time, opens fire to drive Chaba back, but takes a bullet in the side himself. The rest of the team arrives and they start fighting back, throwing smoke grenades to blind the attackers. Pulling together and retreating into the medical room, Bo's assistant grabs Lan and ties her to the bed by her wrists and ankles no matter how hard she fights. The restraints hold. AM is completely lost, still ready to defend her, until Bo himself asks him to move Boren to the bed beside her. This is when everything becomes clear. Bo's assistant announces it plainly. Boren carries the same rare blood type as Lan. He has a bleeding disorder. She was brought here to be a mobile blood bank available at every step, and Boren is the reason. Lan screams. Boren, injured and pinned, keeps repeating, "Don't do this, I don't want anything from her," but the injury makes him too weak to resist. The Mala gang has reached the outer gate because they control the building's entire system. Bo has only one option. He goes back inside alone to shut down the system from its source. Boren sees the numbers and screams for him not to sacrifice himself, but Bo is already committed. Get them out of here, that's all that matters. He takes multiple bullets across his body. The assistant has to physically drag Boren to the car and tell him, "Your father gave his life so you could live, don't throw that away in one moment of impulse." They get to the car and move fast when Frovik enters the medical room and finds that they were mid-transfer, moving the blood supply into Boren's body. He explodes. He's lost the same opportunity twice from the same girl. The next day, they're hiding in a safe house by the sea. Lan has reached her limit. She tries to leave. The assistant catches up to her and says, "None of what happened is your fault. We're family. Even if Bo was using you, Boren and AM had no idea any of it was happening." She settles slightly and agrees to come back. When Boren wakes up, the first thing he does is ask the assistant, "Didn't my father have a fund set aside in Lan's name? We need to find her somewhere safe to live, away from all of this." The assistant shakes her head. "Wherever you send her, they'll find her. There is no safety for her anywhere except with us, and the Mala gang can't go back to operating in the open market until they've finished us. That's the rule. One gang has to win completely." Boren then sits with Lan directly and tells her, "The day I asked you to run away with me, that was the same day I found out about your blood type. I'm sorry for everything they put you through." She absorbs it, then says, "I've had two families. The first one lost their lives because of me. The second one was destroyed because of me too. Since there's nowhere safe for me to go, the best thing I can do is make myself the safest option. Teach me how." Boren brings the idea to Am and the assistant. The uncle says it flat. "To reach a decent level, you're looking at 3 to 4 years minimum. What you're asking for is impossible." Boren doesn't move. "She can't just live with us under compulsion for the rest of her life just so we can protect her. She deserves to live on her own terms like anyone else." Lan walks straight up to Am and throws the combination of moves she'd memorized at him to prove she's already started. She ends up on the floor. Boren crouches beside her. "Your thinking is quick, and your reflexes are decent, but your legs and your punches are too weak. You need to work on speed and flexibility if you're serious, and you're ready to handle the pressure of training. Until you're ready, we're all in." From that day forward, she puts everything into training. The uncle teaches her first aid so she can treat herself in the field. The assistant handles weapons, firearms, and bladed tools when Boren has recovered enough from his injury. He takes over the hand-to-hand combat and teaches her how to fight and defend herself. She uses every moment alone to practice everything she's absorbed. One evening, Boren and Em find her asleep on the floor next to her food, completely knocked out from exhaustion. They carry her to the bed, cover her, and slip out to spend the rest of the evening together. Boren says, "If anything ever happens to me, I need you to protect her no matter what. I won't be at peace unless she's with you." AM is irritated. "You're asking me this when you know I have feelings for her and she has feelings for you." He tries to redirect. "You think the Mala gang can even find us here?" Frovik, meanwhile, has traced the car they sold months ago to a dealership. After they sold the car, where exactly did they go? Later that night, Boren finds Lan standing alone in the garden, trying to work on her aim. Not one shot is landing where she wants it. He makes an excuse that he came to teach her, then walks her through exactly what she's doing wrong and where her focus should be when she's trying to end someone in a single shot. "When you can defend yourself on your own, will you stay with us?" The night takes its course. The next morning, Lan makes breakfast for all of them. Mid-meal, she asks, "If we actually want to live our lives freely, how do we make that happen?" Em lays it out. If we run or hide, they'll find us eventually. If we face them ourselves, we either lose everything or we finish them and live normally. Boren doesn't hesitate. Option 2, the assistant pushes back. Look at our numbers, how are we supposed to attack them? The answer, they don't attack, they flip the scenario and make Mala come to them. Boren had already paid the car dealership owner. If anyone came asking about the car, call immediately. When Frovik and the Mala gang pull up outside the building, they find a bus moving on its own. It stops right behind them. They approach it slowly, expecting to finish whoever is inside, and it explodes in their faces. House 89 had prepared for their arrival completely. The team is spread across every floor of the building, picking off Mala fighters from every angle. When Frovik spots Lan among those firing at them, he loses it. He wanted to take her quietly and cleanly, and his plan has completely unraveled. He charges toward her. The assistant is cutting through Mala fighters one by one until a blade hits his leg and severs it cleanly. He loses his balance and falls. A second attacker moves in immediately and delivers another blow. The assistant, being completely himself until the end, takes a cigarette from his pocket, lights it, and smokes it in his final breaths. In that moment, Boren sees Chaba's assistant take the shot that kills the uncle. He charges gets there first, grabs a shard of glass, and drags it across the man's throat until he bleeds out. Chaba, seeing what just happened to his man, picks up his rifle and opens fire in every direction. Boren brings him down. Lan and Frovik face each other, both holding blades. She does exactly what Boren taught her. She lets him come first. She reads his pattern, then she steps into it and lands 2 clean strikes on his body. For the first time, she feels like she's paid back everything for her parents, for her life, for every scar he left on her. With no one else left standing, the 3 of them sprint to the car, and then a shot rings out. Lan takes a bullet in the shoulder inside the car. Chaba is still alive and not done. Floors it, but Lan is bleeding heavily. Boren turns to AM. Pull over, I have to transfuse to her right now. If we wait until we reach a hospital, there's a chance we lose her. AM refuses. Your condition makes this dangerous. You could die from the blood loss. Boren doesn't even blink. I know. He sets up the equipment and starts the transfusion. At that moment, Chaba's car rams straight into them. AM tells Boren to stay with Lan, gets out, and locks the car door behind him. Chaba beats badly, multiple injuries across his whole body. Holds on just long enough to finish Chaba. Both of them go down. Boren starts hemorrhaging, the transfusion triggering a full-body reaction, nose bleeding, skin breaking out. He looks at Lan one last time and closes his eyes. When morning comes and Lan regains consciousness, she finds herself alone. Both and Boren are gone. Years pass. We see Lan older now, teaching a young boy to shoot. The boy is Boren's son. He inherited the golden blood type from his father, which means he can protect himself without relying on anyone else beside them. Life moves forward. Across the world, Frovik is sitting with a client, selling a rare antique pistol. The 2 shots Lan landed on him that day, they didn't kill him. He survived. He's still out here, still operating, still making deals. When he hands the case over to the client, and the lid opens, it's Lan. She takes his head in a single motion and makes absolutely certain there is no coming back this time.